What's up everyone, David Seven Skies here, broadcasting from the Seven Skies Mansion, and welcome! I am back to this side of the studio. I haven't done any video from this side in quite some time. I mostly focused on tutorials and stuff, but I just got to 10,000 subscribers, so I couldn't think of a better way than doing a video from this side again, and a video that's gonna piss a lot of people off. Why? Because today the subject is ghost production. So I'm gonna tell you 5 reasons as to why I think ghost production is actually not as bad as everybody says. Now before we get into it, let me be clear on a couple things. I'm always on the side of the artist, so if ghost production doesn't hurt the actual original artist, that's when it's fine. And I also think that people should not be fooling their fans, and so they should always tell the truth to their fans. Like we will see, ghost production can be acceptable, but the way I see it, an artist should definitely be open about it and not lie to their fans. Now that being said, let's jump into it and let's go to reason number 1. Reason number 1 is obviously money. If you've been in the music business, you know that this industry is not easy. So in order to pay the bills, you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes is awful gigs, sometimes is remixing something that you don't wanna do, and sometimes is ghost production. If you have your own career, but at the moment is not paying the bills, I think you should definitely do the whole ghost production thing. It's gonna help you with focusing on music as opposed to have a different job that will take away from your focus into music. Because obviously when you do music the whole day, whether it's for you or for other people, you learn new things, you're getting more and more inspired, and that helps you out, as opposed to have a job that takes 8 hours a day and then you come home and you're tired, you don't have time to get in the computer. So if you can make a living with your own production and ghost production, I would say take it until you get to the right level with your own career where you can support yourself without having to do ghost production. I would say just take it. Reason number 2 is high profile work. So let's say you are a good producer and you released a couple tracks on some big labels, but your career hasn't taken off yet. You don't have gigs, you don't have a manager, that kind of stuff. You're gonna have hard times getting the right top lines, getting the right contacts, all that sort of stuff. With ghost production, however, sometimes you're gonna work with very famous people, and those people have access to crazy top line. They get asked to do a remix for huge tracks, and what happens when you work for these people is you start getting used to a certain workflow that you don't really see when you're just a bedroom producer. If you are a bedroom producer or just a producer like me, you will hardly ever get a remix request to remix Rihanna, or I don't even know. But again, if you work with some top level DJs, you're gonna get access to this top line. And I know it looks like it's not gonna do anything well for you, but you never know, because you might end up in like the same emails from that manager or that other person, and you know, you can start building contacts from there, and also you get access to crazy STEM, and you can build your own library and also learn little tricks and techniques from the top pop producer, and that never hurts. Number 3 is double money. So there is a common misconception when it comes to ghost production, which is that a lot of people think that ghost produced DJs are just very rich kids who have so much money they can get a producer and be like, yo, make me a hit and I'll be famous and I'll play. Of course that happens, but sometimes what happens is actually the other way around. I've met producers who have so much music that at some point they were like, okay, I have my own tracks lined up for the whole year. I'm good. I have my gigs. I have my release schedule planned out. But at the same time, I produced all this music. What do I do with it? I can give it out for free. I can release it next year, but that's gonna possibly sound dated. Or I can get some other kid, maybe a good-looking DJ or a DJ who's just good at interacting with the crowd, give him all this bunch of tracks, build his career, and get a percentage out of his career. This way I get my own money from my own project, as well as a percentage from this other project. And believe it or not, there's so many people who do that, and it's actually a pretty lucrative thing to do. Also, for example, another thing could be I do EDM, but on the side, I really like to produce dubstep. And for me, it wouldn't really make sense to have a dubstep project while I do EDM. So what I can do is I can take a kid who's a good image for dubstep and be like, yo, I produced a bunch of dubstep track. They don't fit with my style. They don't fit with my brand, but they're good tracks and I feel like they would do well. What if I give you these tracks, we create a brand new project, and then we simply split the money? So sometimes it's not necessarily purely about the money. It's just, you want to make a lot of music and sometimes you end up doing something that doesn't really belong to you, but it's still worth to put it out there. So I would say this is perfectly acceptable. Once again, I don't think we should cheat people. I think we should really be open about this, but at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Reason number 4 is not everybody belongs on the stage. The reason number 4 is quite similar to reason number 3 in a sense that not every DJ wants to be ghost produced. Sometimes it's the ghost producer who wants to find the DJ. But the only difference is that sometimes a producer just wants to produce music. They don't like traveling. They hate flying. They don't like being on the stage. They don't like the pressure of being on the stage. So all they want to do is sit in front of their computer and make music. They don't want to deal with the whole DJ life. And since most of the money nowadays, especially with dance music, come from DJing, why would a talented producer give up a career and making good money just because he doesn't want to DJ? I would say it's perfectly acceptable if they create a brand where one person is the producer, the other person is a DJ. Sometimes the producer wants to be completely in the shadow, so he never shows his face. He just gets this DJ, just goes and plays music. Sometimes you can see duos where you can see the guy always traveling and the other guy is always in the studio producing. So once again, this is what it takes to make a living out of music. I don't see anything wrong with this. Reason number 5. So this last reason is something you would generally not expect from ghost producing, but it's something that actually happened to me. I don't really consider myself as a ghost producer, but I did ghost produce a couple tracks, and it actually changed a lot my perspective on ghost production and also on making music in general. And what I'm talking about is ghost production is actually inspiring. So let me explain. When you make your own music, you are emotionally attached to whatever you're doing, and so it becomes really hard. You're usually very hard on yourself. Everything has to be perfect. What you're showing to people is your baby, is putting yourself, like everything you want to show inside a track and show it to people. So it's always really hard. And it always takes a little bit of extra work to make your own music. When you're ghost producing, this doesn't happen. Even if you're ghost producing for very high profile DJs, at the end of the day, it's not really your own track. You're getting paid. So who cares if people are gonna say this sucks? I mean, yes, of course, you're still gonna be like, oh, well, I put a lot of work into it and it sucks that people say it sucks, but they don't tell you personally that it sucks. They're telling this to the other person. So in a way, it's easier to sort of detach yourself when you're working on a track that is not yours. But something really interesting happens when you do this kind of stuff. You tend to dare a little more because it's not really your track. So if something doesn't work, who cares? It's gonna be their problem, not your problem. But what's funny is it's when you dare that you come up with cool things. So if you're ghost producing something and something really cool actually comes out, you can still be like, okay, this idea is cool. I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna keep it for myself. Let's work on something else that is maybe less original or less thrilling for this other person. You're still gonna get your money, and at the same time, you are gonna get a fresh idea. Once again, to my big surprise, this happened to me and it was really refreshing. It was really inspiring. And ultimately, this is what actually made me feel like ghost production is not really that bad, especially if you're an artist. Now, when it comes to fan, obviously it is a little bit of a cheat kind of thing. That's why I say producers should be a little bit more open and honest about this. But as an artist, you are getting paid. You are getting access to really good top lines and contacts in the business, but also most importantly, you're getting a chance to still make music, but somehow distance yourself from it and look at your music through a whole different perspective. And that, believe me, is insanely inspiring. All right, this is it for today's video. I am pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of pissed off people in the comments down below. But once again, try to see this with the right perspective and the right state of mind. I'm not just talking money here. I'm talking different scenarios as to why ghost production would actually work for an artist. And I know this is a very delicate subject, so I am very, very curious to know what you guys think about it. So please comment down below. And if you think that there are 5 reasons as to why this is actually hurting the music industry, let me know. Or if you think that there are 5 more reasons as to why ghost production is actually a good thing, let me know. Also, if you don't agree with this list, I would really like to know your point. If you like this video, put a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, I'm afraid that this video is gonna get a lot of thumbs down, but please don't. From me, David Seven Skies, thank you 10,000 times, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.